She didn't pull away. She didn't look at me. She let another man's hand rest on her waist. And the room laughed like I didn't exist. They thought I was weak. What they didn't realize was that silence isn't surrender. It's observation. And once I stopped reacting, everything changed. Before we go any further, if you've ever felt invisible in your own relationship, if you've ever swallowed disrespect just to keep the peace, hit subscribe, tap like, and leave a comment. Because this story isn't about shouting. It's about what happens when dignity outlasts chaos. And trust me, you'll want to stay for this one. The company gala was supposed to be harmless. One of those polished nights where everything looks expensive, sounds smooth, and feels fake if you pay close enough attention. Soft jazz floating through crystal chandeliers. Overpriced wine poured by smiling servers. Conversations built on ambition, not connection. Laura had talked about this night for weeks. Not in excitement. In importance. It matters, she said. Showing up together matters. It could change things for me. So I believed her. That was my first mistake. We arrived just after 7. Downtown hotel. Marble floors. Men in tailored suits shaking hands like contracts were being signed mid-grip. Women smiling with eyes that measured value instead of warmth. Laura looked stunning. Black dress. Hair pulled back just enough to look effortless. The kind of beauty that doesn't ask for attention, it assumes it. I remember standing beside her thinking, that's my wife. I'm proud of her. I should have noticed how quickly she drifted away. I went to the bar to grab drinks. Nodded through conversations I wouldn't remember. Smiled at people who didn't care. Then I heard her laugh. Not her real laugh. Not the one she used at home when something genuinely amused her. This one was controlled. Polished. Performed. I turned. She was standing with Richard. Her boss. A name I'd heard too many times, always followed by pow. Worse. Casual. Laura didn't move. She didn't correct him. She didn't look for me. She just stood there. And something went quiet in my head. Not anger. Not yet. Clarity. I walked toward them. Slow. Steady. Conversations dipped as I approached. People sensed something, but didn't want to name it. Laura finally looked up. For half a second, I thought she'd smile. Step back. Say my name. Instead, she froze. Richard glanced at me, amused. The smile of a man who believes status is armor. Everything okay? He asked, still holding her. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't clench my fists. I just looked at him. Let go of my wife. That word, wife, landed heavier than I expected. Someone shifted. Someone cleared their throat. Laura's face flushed. Not with relief. With annoyance. Jake, she said softly, like I was the problem. You're making this awkward. That sentence. Not the hand. Not the laughter. That sentence broke something. Richard chuckled. Relax, man. This is business. Enjoy the open bar. I nodded once. Because standing there, under those lights, surrounded by people pretending not to stare, I finally understood something. This wasn't sudden. This wasn't a misunderstanding. And whatever this night was going to become, it wasn't going to end the way they expected. I stepped back, smiled faintly, said nothing. Silence makes people nervous when they expect noise. And that silence was just getting started. I walked away, not defeated, aware. The gallery started around me. Conversations resumed. Laughter crept back in, careful, curious. People rewrote what they'd seen into something safer. I set my untouched drink down. My hands were steady. That surprised me. From across the room, I watched Laura and Richard. He leaned in. She nodded, smiled easily, like this was familiar. His hand returned to her back as if it had never left. And no one objected. That's the thing about public humiliation. It doesn't need shouting. Just witnesses willing to stay quiet. A waiter asked if I calm, documented. When Laura found out, she said, "You're destroying my life." No, I said. You did. I just stopped protecting it. The fallout was quiet. Investigations. Access revoked. Power disappears fast when built on silence. The divorce followed. No theatrics. I took what was fair. Left the rest behind. Months later, my life was smaller. And lighter. I slept better. One day, I passed Laura in a grocery store. She hesitated. I nodded once. And walked on. People ask if I regret staying silent. I don't. Because silence let me see everything. And once you see clearly, you don't need to shout that here's the truth most people miss. Strength doesn't announce itself. It observes. It waits. And when it moves, it doesn't need permission.